Okay, well, thank you, Dream Team. And Roberto, welcome to Face.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good as well. I'm just
Okay.
watching the news actually
Oh,
now.
okay.
But
So have we spoken before, Roberto? Forgive me if,
no, no, we haven't
okay.
spoken
Because,
yet.
I mean, your handle looks so familiar to me. And I appreciate, have I ever asked you before and you declined? Is this the first time that I invited you to be a guest?
Yeah, this is the first time, but
Okay.
I'm really
Okay.
proud of being here. Thanks, Dale.
Well, we learn from everybody. We do have a screen share here, Roberto, if you
Okay.
want to show any charts or anything. And I usually start with a new guest. You see that green box, screen share?
Okay.
Or did you just want to talk?
No, I will share my charts.
Okay.
Just give me a second that
Okay.
Apple makes it some complicated.
Okay. And I want to ask you, when you were, say, in high school or college, did you know you wanted to be a trader? I had no idea. I went to college in the middle of cornfields, so I ended up trading commodities, but not because I was there. Tell us a little bit about your story and your journey into the trading business. What were you doing prior?
Well, actually, I didn't knew I wanted to be a trader, but now, but my dad is he has been in trading commodities and futures for more like 30, 35 years. So it was kind of simple for myself. We are like elevate practitioners, and I've been drawing charts since I was like 14 years old. I didn't actually know what was I doing, but I know. Well, my dad always tells a nice story when Steve Jobs was diagnosed of liver cancer, no, pancreas cancer, and Apple was at that time like $90 more or less the share. And I was with my dad, let's buy some Apple, no, and I bought my first stock there. And it actually went up, I don't know, all the time. It was like my first contrarian opinion trade.
Oh, how about that? I'm still waiting Roberto, I'm still waiting to see your screen. Did you click?
I think I have to shut off my Zoom and get on again.
No, you don't shut off your Zoom. Don't
so maybe I might not be going to be showing my chart.
It's a green box at the bottom or at the top. Do you see it? Share screen. What happens when you click on it?
There you go.
Okay, see? All right. Now you're up. Okay, so you bought Apple, and you were fortunate to not have to scour the internet to find good people to learn from.
Yeah, I had my dad. I'm actually always looking for new mentors. I've been with I practice a lot of harmonic patterns, Elliott waves. I went to a lot of courses, mainly on the technical side. We actually see news and stuff like that, just to know the perspective of other people. I actually love a lot the cut reports and stuff like that. And we are now working on a fund. We are mainly going with an idea that we have to go short USA and have a lot of commodities going around because of the market cycles. So,
okay, so are you talking about the U.S. stock market, or are you talking about the U.S.
the
dollar?
U.S. stock market thing. So, well, what we actually look a lot is
gold.
Gold. We are actually seeing that even though it's going, well, there's we call it a black hand that is pulling price down, but each time it's a little it can't penetrate down. So
Do you
this
think
is,
yesterday was a significant low in gold and silver?
yeah, but we actually, this is like an alternative pattern we actually see.
Okay.
We have 3 waves down, maybe a triangle, and maybe if we actually go down this low or even this low at 1714, we might go lower, but we are really confident because of COD reports, because of the situation of the general markets, that the best scenario or the more probable scenario is to go up. And actually, I see it like in 2.5K more or less. So we are actually invested now in gold. I think it's like if you compare this to other commodities like energy and other stuff, you can see that gold is like delayed, no? Even though crude oil has fallen a lot, it's recognized this trend line now. So we actually see this market with 2 perspectives, and we actually are looking for low risk trades, no? So
and was that the top in crude, or are you looking for a higher high?
Yeah, we are looking for a higher high. The structure isn't optimal, maybe, but actually, if you can see, well, RSI is actually really low, and we think that we got a really good chance of going to 78, more or less.
But not new highs.
Yeah, not a really big
failing
high,
rally. In other words, a failing rally, and then
yeah, a
under
failing rally just for
$60.
now.
Yeah.
But we see a great chance of going to this level. So, you know, in Forex, like $1 is actually, if you trade well, it might be like $1 million, you know? So it doesn't really matter the movements. I tend to predict more closer, really, I don't know, short moves, because I'm more like a day trader myself. But in the fund, we actually we started to accumulate some positions in here when we got to like this pocket from the more or less triangle. So we started accumulating in more or less 65.
Yeah.
But of course, if you do Elliott waves, you will think, well, this is like a failed pattern, no? Not a really good. We didn't have any corrections here, and if you see the candles, they are like fading away. So it was probable that we have a correction. We had first started buying here in more or less 80, 78 in energy.
Yeah.
But then we had this failed new high, and when we touched
I was shorting it, except for the big down day. Yeah, you know, the history is interesting, but moving forward, what's your view on the dollar? Yesterday we had a failure.
What's my view on the dollar?
Yeah.
Well, mainly we are expecting that the dollar.
Because you're an Elliott wave guy. Is this still a wave 4? And after this pullback, there's another rally, or are we peaking right here?
Well, we have actually discrepancies with my dad. The first one is that if we go to the euro, that's like 50% the dollar index.
Sure.
We can see that we are actually in the 1.8 level. So that's for a Elliottician is like you have to buy now, because if it's a 3-way pattern, you will. I know my internet is failing a little.
We're stuck on the dollar. Okay.
So.
Okay. Cable. All of them. So where do you trade from, Roberto?
We actually trade. I trade from Forex like for a hobby. I like it a lot, the Forex markets. But
no, I mean,
actually,
you know,
now,
from what geographic location? Where do you live?
where I live in Mexico right now.
Okay.
My dad is actually in Argentina, and we are working in actually a fund called Dolphin Fund Bermudas. That is in Bermudas, but actually all the partners and everything is in Argentina right now.
Lots of opportunity in Argentina with all the economic problems there. currency problems, etc.?
Yeah, we are actually seeing a big opportunity in Argentina. We are actually starting to develop a fund in Argentina. It's if we get the index, you will see. Well, we had to correct it by inflation. So give me a second. Yeah. Okay, this is Argentina in dollars, actually.
Okay.
We have to do some math to transform it. But
yeah,
as analyticians, we have always prefer like 3-way moves. And if you see, this was like kind of impulsive. This is a flat, and then the market does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are now in at least there are two perspectives. One is that we are currently having it's in a congestion zone. But if we break down this zone of 480, probably Argentina will be a great investment for banks, no? Well, from us and everyone, because we got Argentina. We call it with my dad like it's like a crypto for a country, no? It's got the highest and
yeah, it could appreciate 400% is what you're saying.
Yeah, that it can appreciate a lot and really fast, and it's actually very, very cheap. My dad is there, and in dollar terms, everything is like it's a joke, more or less. So
Really?
you can with no, I don't know, $1,000, you can live like a rich guy in there. And actually, a couple of years ago, it wasn't it wasn't like that. So it's really important to go to the markets that are like sometimes beaten up and start looking for the opportunities there. And there are like a lot of companies that are really, that they have, I don't know, 20, 30 and 40 years of market experience, and they have a lot of infrastructure, but anyways, they are valued so low that it's like the thing, if it goes up, it will be like really fast, no? It's like when you see alien wave, one pattern is like a huge appreciation. And if you can see this last, you can see that it's like a 5-pattern wave. So we actually need it to get up here so we can have a C wave that will just, but at least gave you, I don't know, 500% performance on this particular market.
What kind of spreads do you have to pay with who, say for example, who you trade through to get long what's the name of is it a peso still? Argentine,
yeah,
what?
in the peso. Well, actually, it's kind of difficult now, but but they are having some political change. So maybe
so they have currency controls, and you can't buy or sell.
They have currency control, and there's like a black market for dollars. It's called dollar blue, and in dollar blue is the real, I don't know, the real price of dollars. But I think that they cannot block it anymore, no? The real dollar.
I hope you're right, because you know the people of Argentina have been through so much, and you know haven't really, you know, participated in this boom that we've had in the world. You know, they've had leaders they've had hope in, and their currency changes colors all the time. I think it's Doug Casey who hides out there, you know, has a big ranch, and you know, so that when the whole world is killing each other, you know, he could still trade Swiss francs from there, right?
We think that this is like the next opportunity will be emerging markets, and mainly on Latin American side. if you see, Brazil was once a monster, I think, or
Yes,
really,
yeah,
really powerful, and it's been like in correction since the, I don't know, the 2008 crash. If you see, you never seen a new high since then. But if you actually put some Elliott waves in this, you will see that this is an A, B, and C pattern. So you might think that this is actually a flat, or even though if you're like a more conservative guy and you want to do like a triangle, a huge triangle on here, when Brazil actually gets over this point, because you will have a great results in Brazil. So even though they are like beaten up, actually this when market when commodities prices actually go up, Argentina, Brazil, and these countries will actually go really up. They are really commoditized.
Because of the agriculture, right? All the soybeans, they're massive producers, Brazil, of beans, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why also I like a lot Australian markets as well.
You like Australia too, huh?
Yeah, I like the
okay.
the Aussie.
So let me ask you this: it's a theme. Okay. So Brazil, Argentina, other emerging market countries have been under pressure because they denominated their debt in dollars over the years. So if the dollar is peaking out here, even if we go to 98 Dixie or even 100, and we get a bear market in the dollar, this is where the money flow is going to go. It's not going to go into IBM. It's going to go into Petrobras and Brazilian and Argentinian equities, right? Is that your emerging markets is a play of 2022, because a bear market in the dollar will be the jet fuel for this move. Am I reading you correctly?
Yeah, that's exactly the view.
Well, we agree. So now I'm nervous about my position.
No, don't be nervous.
I'm kidding you.
There are always stop loss there that will.
So can you could buy a nice place in Argentina for $100,000?
Yes, you can actually. If you want to live in the best parts in Argentina, the rent will never go up. I don't know, $1,000. That's really cheap, because we are talking like if you live in, I don't know, Manhattan, in the Manhattan of Argentina, no, Puerto Madero or Recoleta.
Yeah,
it's really cheap for us, actually. For people that live outside and actually get their income in dollars, it's like amazing. You can go there and spend nothing and have
you feel really safe there?
Yeah, if you are, it's like in everywhere, no? If you think in Mexico, many people will say, no, there are lots of narcos and stuff like that. But if you actually go to the nice places where Mexico is extremely safe,
where the money is.
Yeah, exactly. Because there are lots of millionaires here and they want to be safe. So places where rich people go, are actually really safe. And Argentina is the same.
Okay. And that's where, so you shuttle back and forth between Argentina and Mexico,
huh? Yeah, well, actually, I moved out of Argentina when the new president got there. I thought that, contrary opinion, it's like we have to go. But actually now I love Mexico so much that I travel to Argentina. I don't live there.
I see.
travel a lot.
So your president turned out to be not as much of a nightmare as you thought, because he was pretty left, right?
Yeah.
Socialist type of policies, like Biden is trying to get across, but Mexico will also have the advantage when the dollar turns with its natural resource base and everyone moving manufacturing with the adversarial situation with China and what's happening in Asia. Don't you think Mexico is going to benefit with people moving production away from Asia and more into Mexico?
Well, I'm having some doubts because the cycle, I don't know. Sometimes I see it and I see Asia moving on and doing great by themselves. So actually, we are in the midpoint that we have to see. But I think the markets are changing their hands as I don't know, USA and European markets are like tied by the hands. So they can do anything. We have like negative rates and stuff like that, and that's when you lose like the monetary policy. Something will happen, and it will be like really, really sharp.
Yeah. So the U.S. and Western Europe is going the way of what South America has gone through for decades.
Yeah, exactly.
Currency crises. We got used to hearing about currency crisis in Argentina, and you'd see guys driving Mercedes because they went through a boom and now they were in a bust, and they get out their Mercedes and chase down cattle in a field for no, really. I mean, I remember seeing the films of the nouveau riche having to go out and slaughter a cow so their family could eat.
Yeah, that's true because well, in the 90s is what like $1 was like 1 peso. So actually, if you I don't know worked in the mall, you could get like $2,000 from 1998, and it was like great for Argentinians. They actually lived like rich. I had friends that their parents told me, "Hey, when it was 1-1, I could go to New York to buy clothes. Why go to the mall in Argentina if we can go to New York?" So actually, they tasted the riches. But nowadays, well, because they are printing money like crazy and stuff like that, it's actually like an alert. No, Argentina has lived this for I don't know a decade more or less, printing money and stuff, and it also it brought I don't know a huge crisis. And now they are actually paying it.
Do you think the whole world's going to go crypto?
No, I don't think that. I think that crypto is more or less like people actually talking about it because of the performance crypto gives us. But if you see if U.S. markets fall, well, Bitcoin also falls. So it's not like I don't know real value. It's actually a risk asset.
It's a commodity. So, I've heard people say, kind of like a commodity. So I wanted to ask you, why you're on Twitter? Do you have a business model? Do you put out a newsletter? Or is it mainly just you trading your own account and you and your dad putting together some type of fund?
No, or my goal, we always gave like analysis and in Elliott waves, harmonics, and we actually do a lot of education for people in Latin America. But I trade Forex, my Forex account personally, because I like a lot the Forex world. I was actually, I think that the first boom was stocks in the 90s. Then it was the Forex markets in the 2010 more or less because of the leverage, and now all people are seeing only cryptos now because of the high performance. But I actually learned to love the currency markets so much that I cannot stop trading them. So I trade my personal account. The fund is actually a new project that we I liked a lot of commodities because to see the commodity market is like a must for currency markets. Yes. So it's actually
you like agricultural commodities at these prices?
Yeah, soy and everything. It's actually falling a lot. If we actually see, this
we had a nice correction from over $20 to $12. Oh yeah, cotton, coffee, everything.
Everything, yeah. If we see like soybeans, you can see
that look like
this looks like a more like a fourth wave, and we will, and I think that we might have a new high in the near years.
What's your
So,
favorite commodity before I let you go? And I'm so glad that I reached out to you on Twitter. You're an interesting guy, Roberto.
thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I actually will be called like
You're getting a comment from Laura. Well, she's a regular in our seminar, and she lives in Buenos Aires, and it says Argentina is a wasted country. Government prints with no limit for anything and everything you can imagine. Our pesos are nice colored paper pieces no one wants.
Yeah, that's true. I think
that's why Roberto sees it as an opportunity.
Yeah, that's
true.
I
don't know why, but
well, because we are contrary opinions. So
all right,
we actually, if you, I don't know, when you have really bad news, generally speaking, actually it's a good opportunity. My dad's first mentor was a really great trader, and he actually invested in Argentina in the Malvinas Wars. So he bought everything in Malvinas, and when Argentina was actually good and it was 1-1, he started selling all his stocks, and he got a lot of money from that. So we, generally speaking, you want to invest in the cheap things that are going to grow.
Then why don't you buy the Turkish lira?
Why don't I buy the Turkish lira? Because actually,
it's cheap.
It's cheap. That's why you have to go there and start buying like a house or something that will last for a time.
But not their currency.
Not the currency. No, currency is like an indicator of the economic or the perception
the economy
of people.
Is sick.
Yeah, but if you go to Turkey, I was in Istanbul like, I don't know, 2 years ago when the Turkish lira went to 7. I was actually, and you can see that they are really rich. So the country is really nice. Bosphorus is amazing. You got European and Asian culture. It's really nice. And the Turkish lira went up, but and might go up a little bit more. But actually, it's like if it's cheap for you to buy something there, but you should go and buy it. Not like Venezuela, of course, but that's a political thing. But Argentina, I don't think that people from Argentina will let the country go that bad. No, and Argentina doesn't have a military power that powerful as Venezuelan. So
I have a new nickname for you, Roberto. Blood on the streets, Ruarte.
Blood on the streets. That's really
Roberto, the grave dancer.
The Ruarte. Grave dancer.
You like that one too? You could use either one. You could use whichever one you want. It was a pleasure meeting you, Roberto. I appreciate you coming.
Thanks a lot, Dale. I would change my nickname to, I don't know, Roberto the Opportunity Wonder or something like that.
Oh, you want a nickname? Okay. All right. Well, we'll work on it, but grave dancer is they call people that buy foreclosure properties that have made millions buying after a bust, grave dancers. So anyway, it was really nice meeting you. I appreciate also your views that there are opportunities from markets that have been depressed by a recovering dollar that we had this year, and that might reverse. So don't be myopic and only look at the US. Maybe diversify overseas and diversify your fiat into perhaps some of these third world currencies, but at least have some gold, right?
Yeah. Thanks a lot,
buddy. And you know what? You're my trading warrior brother now.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
So I appreciate it. Let's do this again. Keep in touch, Roberto. Everyone could follow Roberto at Trader Ruarte on Twitter. You don't have a website or anything, do you?
Yeah, it's Ruarte Reports.
Okay, you want to
.com.
type it in chat?
Sure.
Okay, so that's a wrap, everybody. We'll wrap up the week with you, and remember, count your blessings. Good hunting the rest of the day, and take Blake up. And you know, if you haven't hung out with the team, you need to get into the chat room for $1 for 10 days and check it out, and then you'll be primed for good prices early next year. You're welcome, Panagio. Okay, there you go. RuarteReports.com. All right. You could join the team in 12 minutes. Ran a little bit over on the morning edge. And see everyone tomorrow. Adios.
Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like these videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the content that we provide here for free. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.